Hey everybody. Everyone's excited?
For you.
Hey, what's that?
I grew my hair out for you.
Well, that's a horrible mistake. What a mistake. I cut mine. I kind of like it. I used to look like Jesus, now I look like Sid from Toy Story. I'm taking the look, man. I look like I destroy toys. Give me an erector set and a Barbie doll, I will ruin a child's weekend. Are we rolling?
You're chewing like a cow.
Am I chewing like a cow? Here's what I do with my gum. I put her in the front, so it makes me look like a country bumpkin. Got a little bit of dip up in the front lip, a little tobacco juice.
I'm chewing like a cow too.
Oh yeah. Put a pause on that, sweetheart, while we're making video magic over here. Right now, driving over here yonder on 8, heading east, going to Phoenix. Right now is the part of the drive I like to call the treadmill. You see, you're moving. You can tell you're moving. GPS says you're moving. Speedometer's pegged at 80, but everything's looking the same, like you're on a treadmill. You're moving, but you ain't. It's nice to be out here. I drove out here. I drove from San Diego in my Honda Fit. It's not the car you want to drive through the desert, but I did it, man. People respect you. Everyone else is in something cool, something lifted, and then you're like, oh, all right, groceries? You getting some? You're going real far to get some groceries. Just riding that Fit, baby. Yeah. It's nice. I drove because I usually fly. I love to fly because it's quicker. Quicker is better all the time. But I'm scared to fly right now, not even for the virus. Like, I'll wear the mask, but sometimes people won't, and you're just not going to get where you're going. How many times have you seen that on the news? Some dude who wore a mask through security, through the airport, bought a Starbucks, and then as soon as he sits down, goes, no mas. It's over. And people are like, dude, we're on our way to the thing we're going to. No, you're not. Or the people that wait till it's like in midair and they're like, to hell with this! And then they gotta turn around, so I was afraid that was gonna happen. And I was gonna miss my shows next time. Look at that. Another good way to make enemies out here. Old boy yonder just did it to me. You pull out and you mess up my cruise control. Got my cruise control set here at 80 mph, and you pull in front, and I gotta shut off my cruise control. You're as good as dead to me, partner. You got some automobile issues. I'm not going to be pulling over, helping you with my AAA card. It's over. Cut off. This is the last show of the weekend, and this has been great for me because I live in San Diego, where this is highly illegal. This is not allowed at all. If you want to find a comedy show in San Diego, you'd have an easier time finding an illegal like cockfighting ring. Like you'd have a better time going, hey, is there some dogfighting we can go bet on? Is that around? To find a comedy show in San Diego, you have to like know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, and they'll like text you something or slip a letter under your door, and they're like, meet at the park at noon, and you're like, all right, and then we'll try to put on a show. But here, it's just happening. It's just going. Arizona never followed the rules, and you guys aren't starting now. You put your foot down first on, what was that, daylight savings time? What is it, like the rest of the world does it, or something? The rest of the world. There's people in Ecuador going, it's spring forward? And people in Arizona going, we are doing none of that. It is the same time all the time here. This is Arizona. So I'm not surprised you guys are treating this all the same. It's good. It's just surprising because I haven't done comedy indoors in so long. You know, I was just like, how's this gonna work? Is it gonna be normal? Is it gonna be whatever? Is it gonna be what's gonna happen? I walk up the mall and then I look and there's an axe throwing thing. And I'm like, well, if that's going on, I'm pretty sure they'll let me tell jokes inside. That was the best over there. Yesterday was the first show. I came in, I watched the dude throw an axe. He still had the mask on. He has the mask on. He's like, I don't want to catch COVID. Watch out, honey! And he's throwing medieval weaponry through the air. Hammered, by the way. He had a bucket of Bud Lights right next to him. Just fucking sharp steel through a business. But he's still like, and I was like, well, pick one. And I'm not knocking on anyone who's trying to be safe. Be safe. But also, maybe don't throw an axe. It's contradicting ideals right there. We're here in the Sahara Desert. I'm kidding, it's just Glamis. So, there's white trash right over there. This is great. I don't know how sand dunes came to be. While we were driving up here, I said, I think this means that this used to be the ocean. But I don't know that for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys in the four-wheelers just brought all this sand out from all the liberal beaches. I'll be honest with you guys, I usually get a tank of gas anytime it goes down to half a tank. There's my Honda Fit right there. Right there. But I didn't do it. Now we're at less than half a tank of gas. And I'm trying to keep this in my heart, but there's a genuine fear that what happened in that movie, The Hills Have Eyes, will happen here. I mean, if there are going to be mutants that are going to come out and attack us because we ran out of gas, this is the setting. And I feel like they're going to come out of right there. So I brought my girlfriend and we made a weekend out of it. It was fun. We stopped in Glamis to go to the sand dunes. I don't know if anyone's ever gone to the sand dunes. It's really nice. It's very picturesque. It's a long drive to go to, like if you don't have a dune buggy or a dirt bike, you're really wasting your time out there, man. Like, I thought there was going to be more to it, but it's just, it's a beach without water. That's what it is. And if you don't have stuff to enjoy the sand, you're just standing there going, oh, okay, all right. Have we taken a selfie facing that way yet? Let's do that. You get all your selfies done in like 7 minutes, and then you spend another 7 minutes just going, you good? Yeah, let's go. Let's get out of here. Worth it. Here is exciting. My girlfriend grew up in Toronto, and she's been in the States for a few years, but she's never really been to Arizona. She's like, what's Arizona like? I was trying to explain it to her on the long drive. And I was like, like this, kind of like that. And then we pulled up at the hotel. I'm staying at a hotel. I don't want to give my hotel away, but it's there's a Cabela's in front of it. Just in case anyone hates the show and wants to kill me later, you're gonna have to pass the Cabela's. And then I'm trying to explain to her what Arizona's like, and as we pull up to the hotel we're staying at, there's like 50 motorcycles parked out front with a motorcycle gang just hanging out there. I'm like, it's like this. I think this is what it's like. And I didn't know what was going on, but I told this story at the first show and someone yelled out, it's Bike Week. Yeah, it's Bike Week. Which I'm like, well, what a great time to bring Zoltan into town. It's Bike Week. We got motorcycle gangs from all over hanging out. Hey, where's that one comedian that tells cat jokes? Get his ass in here. We need to drum up some business. So I'm pulling into a parking lot with 50 motorcycles and 50 bikers in a Honda Fit, just like... And I park and I turn to my girlfriend, I'm like, play it cool. And she's like, how? I'm like, I'm not sure. But I just smiled a lot. That's all I do when I'm nervous. I'm still wearing my mask, but they can tell from the crinkles in my eyes. Everything good? And I was looking at the bikers' patches. I was trying, because I watch a lot of Gangland. I know what to look out for. I would have said 1%, we're staying at the Ramada. We ain't staying here. I was trying to eyeball their patches. I couldn't quite make sense of it. And all I kept seeing was they were all from the same group, and they were called the Choir Boys. And at first I'm like, oh. But then I'm like, whoa, what if it's ironic? And so I was like, man, what if they're like, because they spell the S with a Z. It's boys. And I'm like, I don't like that. So I did the responsible thing once I checked into my room, read on Wikipedia what the hell are the choir boys. Turns out, they are a fundraising organization of bikers, and they raise money for the family members of fallen police officers. So they're good. They do a great thing. That's awesome. Don't judge a book by its cover. And once I read that, I turned to my girlfriend. I'm like, it's all right. They're just old Boy Scouts. That's all they are. It's just, they got a different uniform and a different mode of transportation. There's just some old Boy Scouts out there doing good stuff. It's a good lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover. They might look terrifying, but they might just be raising money for good. Yeah. Although they did have a party last night where it looked pretty scary out at the pool. I was still looking out there, I'm like, no, they're still bikers. Like they're raising money, but they're also raising hell. Look at that.
Going on a hike. Glendale, Arizona, because we got, you know, you can only walk around the mall for so long. So we looked up all trails, and they said this one's moderate. Who says it's moderate? Is it a guy like me, or is it a guy with all quads? Of course you can say hi.
Hi.
That's Emma. No last name given. Keep your anonymity.
Keep me on DL.
On the DL. When you're a Steelers shirt.
It's not mine.
It's mine. Are you a big Steelers fan?
I don't watch sports.
There you have it, folks. That's him. We just met a shirtless guy on a hike. Every hike has a shirtless guy. And every shirtless guy on a hike looks like he hasn't taken his shirt off in about 13 years. Farmer's tan all up and over. And I'm not making fun of him, that's me. That's why I keep my shirt on. Because I don't want to be a shirtless guy on a hike. Is he still back there? You gotta whisper, because your voice echoes out here in the wilderness. And then he can just run back and kill us. I wanna be on Netflix, not for being murdered. Yeah, we just passed a running guy on a hike. Every hike always has a guy running on it for no reason, even though the terrain says, please don't run, you're gonna trip all your teeth. There's always a guy running. Just to make your workout seem like less of a workout, there's always someone doing just a little bit more. Oh, every hike, without fail. Shirtless guy and running guy. Sometimes it's the same guy. Sometimes I get to the top of the hike and there's someone that looks like they shouldn't be able to make it up here, and they're up there. And you're panting and they look okay. You're like, what? Did you Uber a helicopter up here? How'd you pull this off? Here we are at the summit. Not really. There's more to go. I don't even know if you can call this a summit. It's more of a hill than a mountain, but it's hot, so it makes it feel like a mountain. I'm here next to this old cactus. Look at that. It's real Arizona. Actually, this isn't real Arizona. That American flag up on the hill, that's real Arizona. We'll get a better shot of that in a few more minutes. We made it to the top of Mount Everest, Arizona. I don't know what the name of this mountain is, but here's the flag I was talking about earlier. Amongst all this nature, Arizona is really patriotic. This is making me feel patriotic, to be honest with you. This is why my mom immigrated from Budapest, Hungary to the great United States. So her firstborn son can perform at a mall and on his time off, hike up to the top of a hill overlooking a freeway to talk next to Old Glory and breathe heavily.
So much has changed. It's been crazy. Debates, I watched the debates. I watched the boring one this week. Wasn't it nice to watch a boring debate? Woo! Yeah, great. It made me feel nostalgic. Yeah. Halfway through, I'm like, good for you. It was boring as hell until a fly showed up. It was the most exciting part of the debates. A fly showed up. It's like if you imagine watching it with someone from the future, and they're like, dude, can we change the channel? And the dude from the future's like, just wait. There's gonna be a fly coming in here, and it's gonna be the most exciting part of the debates. It was nice to just have a boring debate, you know? Like I've been watching, I was disappointed in the first debate because I was so excited for it. Because I've been watching sports without a crowd. And has anyone else been trying to enjoy that? It's hard, isn't it? We're trying. I got a fantasy football team. I'm trying, but man, it's not the same. It's kind of like watching a T-ball game, but none of the kids are yours. You know, you're just like, yeah. Just try harder. I feel like you're not playing hard. I just have that feeling. They're like, I guess it just feels like the athletes didn't think the season was going to happen either. Everyone just showed up chubby. You know? Harden looked chubby in the NBA. He's like, what, we're playing? Oh, damn it. He had like a napkin in his jersey. He's like, oh. Thought it was buffet season. I didn't know we were playing. It's just weird. That's why I was excited for the debates. I'm like, oh, cool, we can watch some. But debates without a crowd, that sucked too. The debates without a crowd, it just looked like a Thanksgiving dinner where the family left the room to let the grandpas argue it out. That's what it looked like. That's what that first debate looked like. Like if they would have panned that hard camera to the left, they would have seen a full living room of just a family watching football going, are they still arguing over there? Bunch of weirdos.
Main salute. Arizona might be the most patriotic state in the nation. Flag right here at the top. They could have put a giant cactus or a statue of Steve Nash, but they decided stars and stripes. Hell yeah, baby. I got that on video. You can see so much from up here. Look down there. There's Venice, Arizona. Those are the Venice canals. All natural. It's a natural golf course right in the middle there. It's where the Inca used to play, I think back in the 1500s, I believe, before Columbus came over and fought the Spaniards for the golf lands. Somewhere up here you can see where the Cardinals play. Oh boy, it's so dry. Watch your step while you do. Just missed it. I just tripped. So hopefully Emma can catch it. We try to do it naturally, which happens quite a bit. I don't know, not some mountain goat. Whoa. Did my butt look cute?
I think so.
Nice. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
Zoltan can't multitask.
Are you
So
trash
he
talking?
asked me to film. He can't film, walk, and talk at the same time. He tried it and he tripped. So now he's like, hey, can you walk and film and not talk while I walk and try to talk?
What are you saying?
Nothing. Just talking to myself. Ain't that right?
Yep. What'd you say?
Nothing.
You're trash talking me so hard. Here we are, post hike, enjoying Chipotle. We are in strip mall heaven, or hell, however you look at it, so I knew wherever we were gonna eat, it was gonna be a chain. America. Although I gotta say, I haven't been to Chipotle since the last time I performed at this club, which was like a year and a half ago. They make decent food. You know, who am I, Anthony Bourdain with an educated tongue? No. I'm just me. I grew up in the trailer park on TV dinners. This is a delicacy.
But I don't want anyone to get disillusioned and think comedy's always like this, where I would come out and people are like, yeah, this is fun. You know, it's not always like that. There's years, many years, where you're performing and in your head, it's going so bad, you're just like, man, maybe I can still get a real job. Maybe that's still an option. I used to perform in colleges, you guys. In 2015, that was my first year of getting to be a full-time comedian, where I got to quit my day job and just do this, which is really, it took 9 years to get to that point, so it took a long-ass time. And I got to book all these colleges, and colleges pay well, right? Because they're selling those kids kind of an education, but also some entertainment, and that's where I come in. So I got booked to all these colleges, and some of the shows were good, and some of them were horrible. Most were pretty rough. But I remember one time I did a show in Pittsburgh at Washington Jefferson University, right outside of Pittsburgh. And I showed up in the small room, there was 10 kids there for the show. And I'm like, that's enough to have a show. The 10 is enough. But the girl that was running it was like, hey, can we wait a few more minutes? Because I think some more people are showing up. And I was like, sure. And we waited 10 minutes, and nobody else showed up, but those first 10 people left. So, the girl that was running the show, she was very sweet. She goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. And she's just like, here you go, here's your check. I guess we're not doing a show. And I went, never apologize for this. This is amazing. You just handed me a check, and I didn't have to perform for 10 18-year-olds. This is amazing. So I went back to the Marriott and got drunk. It was great. And so the next night, I'm at Penn State Harrisburg, and I walk into a similar situation. I walk in, it's like a big cafeteria type thing, like cafe, and there's a stage area about this size, and there's no one sitting here. And about like 50 yards away, there's like 3 students studying. They don't know about the show. They're in a different part of the building. They're so far away. And I walk in, and I'm like, here we go. Hand me that check. I'm ready to order a drink at the Marriott. And then the girl comes up to me at that show and goes, well, we paid you. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, well, go up there. And I'm like, there's nobody there. And she's like, all right. What? So I had to walk on stage in front of nobody and start doing this. I don't know if you know this, but you're an integral part of this. Like, honestly, for a second, take yourselves out of this room and leave me in it. I look like a lunatic. You guys are very important in this, but there's no one here. And I walk on stage, I'm like, oh my God. So I just start yelling to the 3 students studying, trying to chase their dreams. And I'm like, please stop chasing your goals and your wants and your needs in life, and please come up and listen to me do stand-up. And they kind of didn't want to, but I just kept yelling at them until they couldn't study any longer. And they did, and I got 3 students in the front, and I'm starting to do the show. It's still just as horrible as you would imagine. There's 3 kids instead of none, so at least there's eyeballs to stare at me and judge harshly. And I'm doing my act, and about 15 minutes into my 60-minute set, one of the students gets up to leave. And as they're pushing the double doors open to leave, I go, what was it? Was it the cat jokes? Just trying to say anything, right? And he just looks at me, and he just goes, I just can't. And he pushes the doors open and walks out. Like, that kid left with a piece of my soul. Do you understand? Like, I still dream about him sometimes. And he did that 15 minutes in. I had 45 more minutes to do after that. And I just watched him leave with a piece of my soul. And I went back to the other kids, and I'm like, comedy. And I wish I could lie to you guys and tell you it's the worst show that I've ever done. It's not. It's not. It just isn't, man. The worst show that I ever did was in my hometown in San Diego, California. I got hired to do a comedy club downtown. It was a private event. It was for a lady's 50th birthday party. And the way she was celebrating was she rented out the entire comedy club for her and her 9 friends. Yeah. And they sat in a row in a line, like a firing squad. And the comics just had to come up and just dance for her, pretty much. This is the closest I ever felt to being a court jester. Just like, just waiting for them to go yay or nay. Just waiting, like, am I going to be killed? What's happening? So I show up to the club, I see this situation, I'm like, well, this looks like the worst. And they come up to me and they go, listen, you're going on last. You only have to do 10 minutes, and you'll know your time is up when you see the birthday cake coming up the side, and that's when you're just going to start singing happy birthday, and that's how the show's going to end. I'm like, that sounds absolutely horrible. But I guess that's what we're doing, right? So I'm on stage, I'm doing the best that I can with 9 people in an empty, cavernous comedy club, and it's going horribly. I'm bombing, of course I am. There's no other situation. And I feel like 10 minutes is coming up, so I'm trying to wrap up my set. So I asked the birthday girl, I'm like, excuse me, are you single or are you in a relationship? And she was kind of cool before, now she's no longer cool. She's like, I don't wanna. And I was like, whoa, easy, I'm not trying to hit on you or anything, I'm just trying to get into my last joke. Are you single or are you in a relationship? She's like, I don't wanna. And then a huddle breaks out between her and her friends, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then after like a 10-second, 15-second huddle, she pops up out of the huddle like a whack-a-mole. She just pops up, looks into my eyes, and just goes, I'm a widow. And I was like, yes. And that hit me right in the soul. And as soon as she got the last W out of widow, here comes the cake. So now I'm just like, I am happy birthday to you. And that was by a mile the worst show that I've ever done. So I really appreciate you guys just being here, honestly. So much better than either of those situations.